King Say So, and I'm back with another video. Before we get to it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, check out the search box, follow my other channels, hit the like button because we are on the road to 100K. With all that being said, let's jump into it.
I had a death row chain that Suge gave to me, that I threw in the crowd.
The Game, Suge Knight, and Wack 100 have always put on for the West Coast. Wack and Suge worked together during the Death Row era, and now Wack manages the Game. But after Wack and Suge started sending shots back and forth, the Game hopped into the beef and the situation's getting crazy. So today we're breaking down why Game is going after his own manager and one of the scariest dudes in rap history. Let's get right into it. The Game came up in Compton and started repping the city block power rules even though both of his parents were Crips. Back in the day, Game was gangbanging full time and wasn't thinking about rapping at all. But after he got shot and almost died in 2001, he started studying rap and decided to hop in the booth. He dropped a mixtape the next year and signed a deal with a small independent label, and Game was already building momentum in the industry. According to rumors, Diddy was about to sign the Game to Bad Boy Records, but then Dr. Dre discovered him and signed him to his Aftermath Entertainment label in 2003. Linking up with Dre was a huge win for Game, but it also sparked a beef between him and Suge Knight. Dre and Suge created Death Row together back in the 90s and made it one of the most powerful labels in the game. At one point, they had Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac all dropping music, and the company was allegedly bringing in over $300 million a year. They took over the industry in record time, but Dre wasn't rocking with how Suge ran the label. The whole situation was surrounded by partying, violence, and gang activity, so Dre decided to bounce and made his own label. Suge was pressed over Dre leaving, so him and Tupac started sending shots and spreading rumors about him. Pac even aired him out on the track Toss It Up and said, "No longer Dre Day, Ernie Viderci, blown and forgotten, rotten for plotting child's play. Check your sexuality, as fruity as his Alizé. Quick to jump ship, punk trick, what a dumb move. Cross death row, now who you gonna run to?" So when Game signed the Aftermath, he was automatically Suge's op. And according to rumors, Suge actually pulled him off a stage in 2004 and smacked him around. Game was beefing with a rapper named Yuckmouth back then too, and Yuckmouth referenced the situation on the track Game Over 2 and said, "Ain't from the hood, your first album went wood, and every week you getting slapped by Suge. Big come to the bay, man, them texts gon' spray." Yuckmouth and Game ended up squashing their beef, but in 2007, the Game took shots at Suge on the track My Bitch with the lines, "Last but not least, my gangsta bitch. From Compton, always in and out of jail and shit. Bitch tried to burn Snoop, stole Chronic from Doc, blew the whole West Coast, even tried to fuck Pop." The Game is famous for starting beef with damn near everyone in the industry, but taking a shot at Suge almost turned deadly. The Game said after the track dropped, Suge was pressed over the disc and rolled up on him with like 60 gangsters. Even though he was way outnumbered, the Game didn't back down when Suge tried to press him.
And I wasn't having no type of back down, and I drew my gun on all of them, and I held my own. And from that day forward, it was nothing but respect with Suge.
The Game went from almost shooting Suge to shouting him out. And on the track Stainless, he said, "I went from wanting to be Suge to hating Suge to with him. 28 years, a long ass time, it's with him." Talked to him on the phone the other day about how he could have signed me before Dre. Everything was cool with them for a long time, but now the Game is hopping into Wack 100's beef with Suge and threatening to throw hands with both of them. Wack worked with Suge in the Death Row era and they was homies for years. It's not clear exactly what went down between them, but at some point they started beefing and now the situation's really heating up.
Now let's be real, and I'm gonna speak on it because he been speaking, and I don't respect him no more.
Suge?
At all.
No
right?
way.
Not zero. And for me to hear recordings of this man saying I'm the reason why he got 28 years, like I'm the motherfucker that was driving the truck, is crazy.
Wack might not have any respect for Suge now, but in 2017 he posted a pic of them together from back in the day and said he learned a lot from him. After Wack aired him out on Academics podcast, Suge won $1 million worth of Game and claimed he would pull up on him whenever he gets out of prison. And in a leaked jail call, Suge allegedly dissed Wack like crazy and said he claims Compton without even being from there. Everything cooled off for a minute, but then Wack hopped on IG and sent some crazy shots at Suge. He called Suge an accomplished failure and said he don't own anything except his own stupidity. And in the caption, he wrote, 1991 to 1997, what was gained was all lost. Freedom, wealth, and some people's life. Suggest you keep my name out your mouth before I start to talk about who's Junior that really is. You've been warned. Wack definitely went for the kill and claimed that Suge's son ain't even his. But Suge Knight Jr. didn't seem too pressed about it. He hopped on IG and said that he's all about moving up the right way and that you don't have to put other people down to build yourself up. Suge's son might not be beefing with Wack over the situation, but the Game is. After Wack made the IG post, Game hopped in the comments and said, "I'll take the head up fade with both you on sight." It's not clear why the Game's jumping in like that, but this ain't the first time he's had issues with Wack. Wack and the Game have been cool ever since Wack allegedly saved him from getting jumped by 40 people. According to Wack, the Game was surrounded by G-Unit dudes at a hotel and didn't have a way out. Wack was a Suge at the time, and they ended up heading over to the hotel, and that's when Wack saw how much trouble Game was in. They didn't know each other back then, but Game was with one of Wack's homies, so he rolled in and helped sort the situation out. The Game could have ended up getting stomped out if Wack didn't step in to help. And when they ran into each other a few weeks later in the studio, Game allegedly gave him all the cash he had on him, plus a free feature for one of Wack's artists. Wack might have saved him back in the day, but that don't mean they always on the same side. Back in 2019, Wack caught a lot of heat after he gave props to the dude who killed Nipsey Hussle. Eric Holder, aka Shitty Cuz, murdered Nip after he allegedly tried to warn him about some paperwork going around that proved he was working with the cops. According to reports, Nip was just trying to help the dude out and said he needed to sort his situation out. But then Shitty Cuz shot him 10 times and kicked him in the head while he was on the ground. Now Shitty Cuz is locked up for 60 years. But in an leaked call, Wack said, Shitty Cuz, the alleged gunman, when it comes to the rules of engagement of gangbanging, he did what he was supposed to do when another gangbanger calls you a or a snitch. You supposed to handle your business, and can't nobody say that's wrong. Nipsey repped the Crips, and Wack clapped back at everyone by posting a pic of himself in an all-red car with the caption, "Say hi to the bad guy, #Paru." Besides supporting the dude who murdered Nip, Wack allegedly cost the Game a track with him too. When Game announced his new album, Dramatic, one of the tracks listed Nipsey as a feature, but just hours before the record dropped, the track with Nip was taken off. Wack claimed that he got an email an hour and a half before it dropped and that Nip's brother Black Sam put in a demand for the track to be pulled. He claimed that Black Sam was in his feelings over what he said about Nip and that he's being selfish about the whole situation. Then sources close to Nip's team revealed that Wack was capping about the whole thing. Come to find out, Wack never sent over the paperwork for the track, so the people who handle Nip's music alerted the lawyers, and that's why the song was pulled off the album. The Game has always been a huge supporter of Nipsey and even got a tattoo of Nip's face on his chest after he died. And fans thought he should confront Wack 100 about the disrespect. TMZ tried to press him about it too, but the Game told Big Boy,
You're not gonna put me in the middle or twist that. What Wack says or what he wants to say is really his own opinion. Obviously are two different people, right? Two different opinions.
It was a pretty mature response to the situation, so this new beef with Suge and Wack don't make any sense. If Game is cool with Wack disrespecting his real homie, then why is he trying to run the fade with him over Suge? Right now, nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes, but tap in for updates because it might get wild between these three.
I don't think it's that type of fade like that. I think this is, two homies fighting. I'm gonna beat both y'all up just so y'all can stop fighting, so y'all can stop arguing, so y'all can stop going back and forth. I'm the middle guy. I know both of y'all. I'm in y'all beef by taking the fade with both of y'all. I think that's what this is. I think that was probably blown way, way out of proportion. But make sure y'all go to the comment section, let me know, and I'll catch you on the next video.